Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm Will Dragon and this is Burden of Command. We are going to continue our campaign. I believe we may be out of boot camp now, so it looks like maybe our next mission is for real and is potentially going to be up against the Germans. I don't know if we'll start in Normandy or whether we may get thrown at Africa first. I'm not quite sure. Obviously we're following a company, so I'm not quite sure where this scenario goes through. Now this is just the end of, it always saves weirdly kind of just before it finalizes a mission. It's a little bit weird. Sergeant Bennett was maimed. I think I was potentially maimed because I saved him. I think I hurt my hand. Your eyes snap open, the missing fingers on your, there you go, hand burns. Captain Lamb looms above. His aquiline features pale in the naked light of the cramped wardroom. You okay? He asks. The shared pain from the training accident is still written in his eyes, even after these busy weeks. It's time to get up, Lieutenant. Final briefing is in 5 minutes. Steady myself. The bunk shifts beneath you, but that is not unusual for you or anyone else. Captain Lamb extends a hand to help you to your feet. The subtle shift of the ship beneath your boots nearly makes you stumble. A creak of the hull, followed by a low moan of protesting steel, is an unpleasant reminder that home is now far away. 8th of November 1942, off Morocco. So yeah, we are, 2 years away from D-Day, so I guess we'll be somewhere else first. The ship creaks and groans as you flex your hand. Lamb leads the way aft toward the briefing room of Pasca H. Bliss. You've grown used to the old troop ship's complaints during the crossing, but you won't have to put up with them for much longer. We must be close now. I know you're still having a bad time with what happened to Bennett, Captain Lamb says as the two of you walk through the busy corridors, lined with empty brackets and torn screws. Remnants of the furniture that used to clutter the halls of the Bliss in its past life as a liner. He should be here rather than strapped to a bed, but we can't change that. We can only accept our responsibility and keep moving. Realism is how well a leader learns to cope with their combat fatigue. Measure on how much strain a unit is under. Every 100 points is a milestone that increases the chance of stress, and stress reduces morale. The leader learns to cope. I'm gonna gain the realism. Long-term planning. I understand, Captain Lamb replies. I know the feeling. Listen, what we need right now is a field officer. That's why I fought your transfer. When the orders come down, I know you'll lead your men. You'll weigh the mission against men you know. Men who all have someone waiting for them at home. That is our burden. I will look after the men, trust in that. And a water fight, Captain Land says as he turns to face you. Behind him, a team of crewmen carry a man on a stretcher past. The wounded man's arm lies at a hard angle and white bone juts out. Ugh. Not a single boat has been lowered, and now, let's get at it. He grasps your shoulder and gives it a fatherly squeeze. His resolution is impossible to miss. Shouts rise from the deck, a deck packed with soldiers, guns, and ordnance. It never ends, does it? Captain Lamb mutters as he hurries up the ladder, leaving you alone at the threshold of the briefing room. Captain's in a hurry, you hear Private Roberts say above the din of the nearby mess hall. The enlisted man cradles a mess tin filled to the brim with what could charitably be called potatoes and eggs. The stuff is only edible due to the layer of ketchup. Even the worst of Sergeant Layton's cooking had been better than what the Navy's galley serves here. Have to expect that with lamb, Private Hancock replies to his fellow private, an equally ketchup-drenched mess tin in his hand. He needs to keep busy.
But all resistance, by whomever
Why is that?
must be destroyed. However, when any of the French soldiers seek to surrender, you will accept it and treat them with the respect due a brave opponent and future ally. Remember, the French are not Nazis or Japs.
There you go. Why is that? Private Robert asks his friend, confusion edging into his features. Well, word is, Lamb's old man really screwed up back in the last big one. Private Hancock says and then darts a theatrical glance left and right. Got hundreds killed in France or something like that. Hope it doesn't run in the family. Somewhere in the distance, the soldier begins to recite a speech. General Patton's speech, mimicking the general's piercing voice. Turn a deaf ear to this soldier's gossip all the time. Prepare, glance your way briefly, then scurry up the ladder, heading for the open hatch. Fresh air and the invasion preparation. Gotta love all the pictures. Lieutenant, a familiar voice calls from behind you as the two privates disappear. You turn to see Sergeant Grant, his features tight with their usual strain, as he steps into the corridor's sparse light. In his sinewy hands, he cradles a cup of steaming dark liquid that doesn't clog the nose like his usual blackstrap coffee. A captain thought you could use this, he explains. So no second nap. The old phrase about NCOs bearing gifts. Good lord, that smells like real coffee. So no second nap, not unless you want to miss the war, Grant quips as he passes the cup. The coffee is a rich brown instead of the usual tar-like horror that the crew of your Bliss normally brews. Its warmth in your hands proves a welcome ally against the night's chill. Nickel Company's other lieutenants are already seated when you step through the door. The briefing room, really just a cleared section of the cargo hold, grows crowded as the officers from the 3rd Battalion dribble in. Everyone seems eager to know if any part of the plan has changed. A hush fills the room as your battalion commander, Major Eugene Cloud, steps beside a chalkboard filled with times, movement arrows, and unit symbols. The Major idly brushes a hand against his gold oak leaf insignia, then glances pointedly at Sergeant Grant. The NCO briskly steps back into the corridor. The other lieutenants quickly take seats, crowded together by companies. Join them. It's been a long trip on this most pleasant of luxury liners, Major Cloud remarks, letting a scattering of nervous laughter from the other officers fade before he swings his pointer towards the largest of the maps. But here we are, gentlemen. Welcome to French Morocco. Glance at the other officers in my company. A sergeant in the First World War and an officer in this one, Lieutenant Wilson, stares ahead with glazed disinterest, as if he already knows what Major Cloud is going to say. Then again, considering the multiple decades that the 2nd Platoon's commander has been in the army, he wouldn't be surprised if he did. Major Cloud's pointer stick smacks against the map pinned beside the chalkboard. A slice of Morocco is inked there, though the details are sparse. Yeah, sure, I know exactly where I'm going in that town. At 0445 hours, our regiment will land as a part of the 3rd Infantry Division under Major General Patton. Our objective is to subdue all French, that is to say, Vichy French forces in Morocco. In particular, 3rd Battalion will be landed last as a reserve to assist the 1st and 2nd Battalions in their efforts to seize key fortifications. The coastal batteries here, the tip of this pointer slides over to the arc of a sheltered harbour, near a small port town called Fedala. Directness, we're not on the first wave, are we, sir? The Major flashes you a grin that is far from friendly. Keep your questions till the end, Lieutenant. The tip of his pointer, Major Cloud, outlines the landing beaches. Red -3, red -2, and red -1, the last of which is where your company will come ashore. This is America's first operation in the Western Theater. We cannot afford to foul this up, Major Cloud declares. We have surprise. We'll use it to overwhelm the Vichy in Fedala before Casablanca can send reinforcements. Until our artillery lands, the Navy will lend us their guns for air power. We have the planes of the USS Ranger. See what the other officers are up to. Your company's new weapons platoon commander occupies the chair in front of yours, diligently jotting down notes on a pad as if he were in school. Weapon platoon commander. Despite his big shoulders, Lieutenant, it is Lieutenant, sir. Looks like he still belongs in a classroom. You can only hope his note-taking helps put his platoon's mortar rounds where they need to be once the shooting starts. Pointer slides inland and taps against the possible enemy concentrations. Most of the French soldiers posted here are colonial troops, so they might not want to fight for Marshal Pétain. The Major continues. But if they do, don't hesitate to open fire. Speed is key. The pointer races the expected line of advance from the landing zone through Fedala onto Casablanca. As stated, 1st and 2nd platoons will form the initial waves. N Company. Major Cloud says and looks at your section of officers. We'll act as guides and secure the landing zone for the rest of 3rd Battalion. When we go ashore an hour after the initial landings. If there are problems once ashore, it falls to us to step out of reserve and pick up the slack. Any questions? Comments? He eyes you pointedly. That's your cue, Lieutenant. Once off the beach and inland, Keep going to Fidela and even to Casablanca. Hell, keep marching until you reach Berlin if you can, Major Cloud says. There'll be a medal for that, promise. A scattered chuckle rises from the assembled officers. The silence broken, the questions start coming in. Others ask about the likelihood of French surrender, minimal, and how to deal with enemy armor, difficult. Got it. Anti-tank guns will penetrate armor just fine, the Major insists. Just don't believe those old training films when they say you can fight them off with heavy machine guns. What about civilians? Captain Lamb asks as he steps through the door. Hands are blackened by oil and grease that a rag can't quite clean. He sits beside you, reeking of the sea salt's tang. Avoid civilians when possible and prevent casualties. We're liberators, not conquerors, Major Cloud replies. That is it. What is it, Captain? I was just on deck. Lieutenant Howard, my executive officer, just got his hand crushed on a cleat, Captain Lamb says, without taking his eyes off the Major. If a company is going into battle and I need someone to handle the back half. Now, Major Cloud asks, clearly less than thrilled with the idea of venue for the discussion. We're on the first wave. We start loading in half an hour, Captain Lamb says. The Major's gaze sweeps the room as he seeks a quick answer to the problem. I told my wife I would never volunteer. Do I want to volunteer? I'll do it, sir. Not a gratitude before he looks back at Lamb. There's your talkative answer. No, sir, I'd rather not rob Peter to pay Paul, Captain Lamb says. Our platoons need leaders. You know I'm down an experienced first sergeant already. And now his replacement is in sickbay with a burning fever. That's why my XO had to do the loading. Only now I don't have an XO. Major, I've got to have someone who can take the initiative with the company while I'm otherwise engaged. Major Cloud shakes his head. Then you'll have to wear both hats, Ellie. We can't spare anyone. Captain Land tends his superior officer a resigned, if understanding, nod. That seems to be that for your chance to become XO. Major Cloud glances at his watch. It is now nearly midnight, he announces as he looks back. We start loading the boats at 15 hours. God willing, we'll be moving inland before sunrise at 0600. Get your men ready on deck. Dismissed. Beneath a midnight sky, your platoon clambers down the nets into the shadow hull of the Higgins boat. One by one, their boats set foot on the plywood shell of the landing craft with muffled thumps, 30 men packed into one fragile hull. Dang it, Corporal Crossley shouts as he slips on the gunwale of the landing boat. His arms pinwheel as he tries to keep his balance. Sergeant Grant's arm shoots out, grabbing the man and hauling him into the boat. But Crossley's bar, the squad's only automatic rifle, flies from his shoulders. Brilliant. The weapon clatters towards the hull as it slides towards the stern just before it plunges into the deep. The strap is caught by a cleat on the outer hull. It dangles there, just inches above the inky water, between the landing craft and the rusted hulk of the Tasker H. Bliss. Didn't you hear, Crossley? Patterson cracks in the darkness. They cancelled gymnastics at the Olympics. The platoon chuckles nervously as the bar gunner rises. With the boat due to depart in a few minutes, there's no time to draw a replacement weapon. Without the bar, your squad is down to their rifles and, as Morris pointedly notes by patting at Crossley's sheath, bayonets. What a grand start. Sergeant Grant hauls Crossley over, jaw clenched at the latest of screw-ups before you even hit the beach. Here and now is a fresh chance to lead, really lead. These men, the question is, new lessons or old habits? Crossley looks at you apologetically. Sorry, LT, he mumbles just above the idle thrum of the engine. The Higgins boat thumps against the hot ship's hull, threatening to dislodge the weapon and possibly crush anyone unlikely enough to get caught between the two vessels. Theo cunning or professionalism. I wanted to go, I wish I could remember. I think it was possibly this one. Which I can't, annoyingly when I'm hovering, it doesn't tell me which ones they are. Compassion or doctrine. Theo cunning or professionalism. Theo cunning, professionalism or discipline. I think it's discipline. I'll keep my disciplined mindset. Order Crossley to retrieve it. The Yiddish man nods glumly. All right, Lieutenant, I'm going. Crossley passes Morris his helmet. With a deep breath, he clambers onto the shifting stern. I'm not sure this was a good idea, Lieutenant, Sergeant Grant says very quietly to you and you alone as you watch Crossley edge towards the weapon. The platoon sergeant takes a moment to tuck a spare life jacket under his arm. Ordering a man to risk his life for a weapon? We've got more guns. We've only got one Crossley. If he goes into the drink, the men will be pissed. Velocity and directness. An unarmed soldier is worse than useless. Your sergeant sighs. Yes, Lieutenant, he replies, but the men might not see things that way. Not when the French might not even fight. Crossley's starlit silhouette crouches beside the cleat, despite the seesaw of the ocean. Trials rise and fall. He reaches the edge, slowly pulls the weapon back by the strap. When Crossley returns to the deck, there is a round of low cheers. All seems forgiven. With the loading complete, you turn to the coxswain. We're done here. Let's get this boat moving. Retrieve your weapon, soldier! The Navy man turns the wheel and opens the throttle. At long last, you are on your way. To the beaches, I guess. Your world? Age or men? Tenant unnamed. Edit. We are no longer going to be Lieutenant Unnamed. We will simply become me, Lieutenant Dragon. Keep the portrait, keeping the mindset. Pick platoon insignia. Yeah, happy to keep the same insignia. Exit character view. What have we got? We've got a lot of prestige. Two loyalty and two prestige. Trust is only an attribute for leaders. Give me a point of trust. I think that's going to help with a lot of assaulting. How are we looking? Anybody close? Not really. Really could do with starting to up that loyalty, to be honest. Continue your journey. Right, so I have a point of trust, which should help with orders and potentially morale checks and that kind of thing, I'm hoping. I really could keep reading the encyclopedia, but there's a lot. I think I'm roughly getting battlefield tactics. I have some basics in my head. I'm hoping that does me.
Finally, on the 5th day, we got the news. I mean, what we'd been waiting to hear. They handed out little guidebooks. I remember the first line. You are to do duty in North Africa as a soldier of the United States.
Okay, 8th of November 1942, off the coast of Morocco. It's been 4 hours since you loaded up. The men have long since given up being dry, let alone warm. Your platoon hunkers down in the grumbling belly of the landing boat, huddled together in the moonless dark. Sprays of ocean waves surge over the bow. The rumble of the engine pitches upwards. The boat enters yet another slow turn, and the agony of that delay spreads across the tense faces of your green troops. A dim red light flickers. The coxswain, a young man in dark blue dungarees, leans forward at the control deck to inspect a fuel gauge with a filtered flashlight. He taps the glass cover with a worried look on his face, then returns his attention to the dark seas. With both hands, he shifts the control wheel to keep the boat steady amid the flotilla of landing craft whose engines are far quieter than your own. Any trouble? The coxswain shakes his head, his eyes flick your way, a weak smile on his lips before his attention returns to the seas ahead. Behind him lie the silhouettes of the invasion fleet, black against the starlit sky. White waves surge as other landing boats make a radical turn. Engines deepen their growl in the distance. The coxswain bottles up. See if Private Roberts has held down his Navy chow. Talk with Private Hancock. Low chance of trust plus 10. Even chance, high chance, trust. Oh, in for a penny, in for a pound. Low chance of trust plus 10. Trust plus 15? Morris and Patterson are near the front, their usual banter subdued by the constant pounding of the sea. When you call out, the pair turn, just as a shower of salt spray slaps against Patterson, coating him afresh. The lanky man turns and raises a fist towards the ocean as if warning it to behave. Laughter ripples up and down the boat. Even the coxswain lets slip a chuckle. Trust plus 15. A rumble like a freight train passes overhead. Patterson hastily jerks his upraised hand back down. A fountain of water bursts into the night sky. White flashes shatter the darkness of the shore. Shells scream overhead toward the transport you left behind. Private Roberts hastily finishes puking over the side. He's now completely done with his breakfast. Sergeant Grant leans over to Private and asks loudly above the din, "You all right, Roberts?" "How could I not be?" Private Robert replies. He tries out a weak smile, clearly more for Grant's benefit than his own. "I'm off that rusty bathtub of a ship, and no one's shot me yet. This is about as good as it gets, Sarge." The man is certainly less than enthusiastic. Private Hancock edges to Robert's side. "Come up front, the air's better there, trust me." Hancock waits for your approval before he grasps Robert's shoulder and guides his friend towards a place at the bow. The engine sputters, dying down to a low rumble. You turn to see the coxswain heaving the wheel of the helm with all his might, eyes wide in terror. You lurch to the side as the boat goes into a hard turn away from the shore. Sergeant Grant helps you stand back up. "What the hell is that swabby doing?" Grant asks as the boat keeps turning. "If he's chickening, then battalion will throw the book at us." Trust the coxswain not to screw up. The coxswain reaches for the throttle and the engine roars back to life. He jerks the wheel over. Something dark beneath the water flashes past on either side. Ahead, another boat capsizes, spilling its human cargo into the sea. You hear Captain Lang shout out above the din as your boat zips past. The coxswain slows the engine, turns the wheel hard once, twice, and then throttles up once more. A sonorous vibration ripples through the wood beneath your feet. Let him drive or pilot, whatever this is. Madre de Dios, but this was not said when we were briefed, the coxswain replies, and then flashes a satisfied smile your way. 100 yards from landing, Lieutenant. What once seemed like a pale line on the horizon is now a vast expanse of starlit sand. We must move fast, move inland. The hull shudders beneath you, the coxswain throttles back the engine, and in the quiet afterwards he yells, "Debark now." "I see sand," Private Hancock yells from the bow and then leaps over the side. Lead them over the side. You leap over the side into the frigid, waist-deep water. Your men follow. The moment you drop into the surf, the chill of the ocean numbs your toes. The awful stink of gasoline thickens the air as you struggle onto the sand. All around lie wicked, wrecked boats and sprawled men. This is one big snafu, Patterson grouses as he crawls forward, belly against the sand. "Half the French army shooting at me." "Gee," Morris replies as he hugs the beach just a few feet away. "Maybe they're tired of your flapping gums already." You blink aside the sting of salt spray and spy a huddle of men just a few yards off. Sergeant Grant is among them, his features etched by flashes of distant gunfire. "Lieutenant," Sergeant Grant calls to you. "First and second squads are here, but third squad scattered itself good. Can't even find Roberts. 20-odd men from your platoon, a bare 2 squads of greasy, salt-splashed soldiers." "Where's the rest of the company?" "Wherever the rest of Nickel Company is, that isn't here." Corporal Crossley passes his bar to his assistant, then recovers a 30 cal that dangles over the side of a wrecked boat, adopting it into his own personal arsenal of democracy. Just like that, you've got machine gun support. Ocean waves crash in, drenching your men afresh. You have to get them moving. Third squad, first platoon, rally on me. Juice French morale. I'm going to remove the fog of war. Knowledge is power. Let's go, let's go. You lead the way forward, your men follow in loose column, spreading out as they go. As boats crunch dry sand, the silhouette of an American helmet emerges ahead. In the flare of distant guns, you see upon it the silver oak leaves of a lieutenant colonel. "Lieutenant," the lieutenant colonel barks as he waves you and your men over to his position behind a swell of sand. "Do not salute." "Colonel, sir." "That I am," Lieutenant Colonel Moore replies evenly as a salvo of shells scream overhead. "I don't recognize you, son. Who are you with?" The metallic rattle of a machine gun fills the air once more. Panic scream rises high and raw before being cut short. With the Pathfinders of 3rd Platoon. Nickel Company, right. Lieutenant Colonel Moore considers. A sly grin creases his features. Well, as of now, you're working for me. Understood? Understood. You don't have to like it, but you will follow. That's the army way. Lieutenant Colonel Moore glares at you. Right. Now I need you to lead these men like back in OCS. Afterward, if you... The crack of machine gun fire drowns out what the Lieutenant Colonel was going to say next. Stabs a finger forward. The flashes on a rise that overlooks the beach. Go get that son of a bitch before he stitches up any more of our men. Take the machine gun position. Suffer no more than light casualties. That is definitely an order. So that's he's up there. Got a squad there. I don't know if we've got a squad in the rocks. What I do know is that this is elevated up this curve. You have people here. Understanding line of sight. What I'm trying to understand is actually, or remind myself, I should say, actually cover. I don't. That is in water, so I don't like that. Okay, so the third squad needs rallying. We do have a 30 cal, which is part of my squad. I think so. He is. I assume he's got leadership abilities. Take command, captain. Oh, no. No, he does not. So he'll... I imagine then... Yeah, so he's just going to give... He's like another squad commander, near enough, just like me. That looks like trenches. This looks like horror, pain, and disgust. We need to do this fast, but... We need to do it without getting destroyed either. Patient even up. That's the highest point. That near enough rivals that one. That'll see everything. Then all of these pretty much see everything. I mean... That is, like I said, that is one thing I would like. If I could click on a square, it would just be like, here are the hexes stats. That is something I would like. I think that's a wall I can technically hide behind in the dunes as opposed to being on the beach. I mean, I think so. Great. Creep. Okay, so how does this do for... I mean, according to this, we've got light cover, I think. We've got light cover from the 30 in the 30 cal. These guys have no cover. These guys have no cover. You... Recon by fire. That's a squad. That's... could be anything. Well, they were flanked. I like that they were flanked. Oh, nice. That kind of puts them out a little bit. I would need a morale check. We also have these guys then. Wait, hang on. Let's have you. Let's bolster these guys. Then let's... Go for it. Can't shoot back because I'm out of their range. It's just that machine gun squad I feel like I have to worry about. The Cav squad apparently is not doing good. I don't know if they've got any other people in buildings, but... from the little story at the beginning, no one else is shooting at me. I'm going to attempt to... It's time to run into the dunes. You can do it. You can do it. Failed. Oh, damn it. That means I haven't got enough to creep anymore. Are we close enough? Yeah, kind of. They are suppressed. Recon by fire. Is there anybody in this building? Nobody popped up. Nobody popped up.
Take cover.
I'm gonna give these guys another order. Yep, sleep when you're dead. You heard the guy. Because I also want to know then, is there anybody in here?
Don't give him an inch.
No. Okay, so I think it's just these two squads. So let's... There's left 4. Going to simply... Now, I'm not going to do much. They're already suppressed, but I want to make sure I keep them that way, you know?
Ne prendre pas la pipe. Reloading.
I just want to keep them pinned in, basically.
Stay online.
What we're going to do is... Not just you. You're to come down here.
Stay down.
Rally these guys. No, I don't want to bolster. I want to rally your squad.
Anyone want a speech? Reloading. Go, go, go. Take cover.
Get off the beach, please. Failed. Damn it. They are at full morale. I need to bolster. But that means I'm gonna have to run my my lieutenant back. You guys are just gonna can there be like a hunker down command? Let's press these guys because we do need to get moving. Gonna failed. Failed. I have to bolster. Which I would have to wait until next turn to be allowed to do.
Get the BAR up here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
On your left. On your left.
Need to
I think I got one.
start running squads up. We need to keep both of these guys suppressed, so to say. Each time before firing to improve the impact of the machine gun. Remember, the machine gun can fire multiple times in a turn. Yes. We need to do is bolster these guys.
Stay online.
And get ourselves up. Nice. Bolster worked it.
Lesson.
Fires at landing craft.
Take cover.
No, we can't assault. Ourselves into that building.
I think I got one.
Take command, captain. Oh, he is counting as a captain. Okay. All right, yeah, it's not technically his turn, which is, I don't know. We've got someone weirdly from a different squad. A different platoon, sorry. Check who is leading. Check command captain.
Keep firing.
Again, I know they're technically suppressed, but I want to make sure they stay that way.
Watch your flank.
I want to make sure they stay very useless.
Contact. Take cover.
In turn, not just round. Yep.
Shift fire.
We're going to holster.
Ready?
Everything we got. Failed MC to lead. Oh, that's just
Time to
an
step
absolute
up, ladies.
pain. That's really annoying. That is really, really annoying. Should have rallied them, but I don't know if I had enough to rally in them bolster, to be honest. Again, I know this isn't going to finish it, but once again, I'm just gonna keep them terrified.
Stay down.
Italian commander in danger. Prestige -1. Okay. We won't be doing that again then. Apparently if I make him risk himself, I lose prestige. Right, now I've got this turn to finish it. So if I mess this up... Right, they are fully rallied. Let's bolster. Fully bolstered. I would like you to charge these people, please. Flanking morale boost.
Move, move, move! It's up to us!
No resistance. Then, need you to do it again. Whew. If I messed that up, that was it. That was over. With the primal cry, you and your men rush toward the enemy, rifle fire flashing in the dark. The sputter of their machine gun abruptly ceases with a telltale clank. Jammed. Okay, so definitely still made a mistake. Need to remember to make sure they're fully rallied and then bolstered to be able to have any chance of going hand to hand. Rifle fire flashes in the dark. As you crest the firing pit, you find yourself face to face with a pair of French soldiers beside the machine gun, one dark and one pale. The nearest man bangs hastily on the receiver with a hammer, while the other strains to shift the stuck bolt. Your squad falls upon them, shooting, kicking, and screaming. One of them manages a last scream, the other goes down right after. The gun pit is captured. Trust +4. Major and minor, probably because I took so long, but loyalty and 11, prestige 12. And of course then, so once again, we are going to end the episode there, one mission at a time. And so until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you are enjoying it. Hopefully I can continue to grasp the tactics of this game and I will stop making silly mistakes. We'll find out. We'll find out, or Nickel Company is gonna have a hard time through this war. So that just leaves me to say that until the next episode, I hope that you can stay safe, happy, and healthy.